Alright, so in this video, I'm going to show you how to do the formatting for your Writing Project 1 draft. So the first thing that you want to do is you want to go ahead and go into your Google account through your Columbus State email. And that is already something that you set up during the first week of classes. So if I go to Google and go to the Google page, up here, you should be able to sign in. And you see here where it says Google account and it has my name there. And then you can see that it has my Columbus State email. So you are expected to upload and share your drafts and final copies with me through your Columbus State email address. Please do not share any papers with me from personal email accounts. And every semester I have students who will do that. They'll already have a Gmail account, and then they'll send me something from a personal email account. So for the purposes of this class, I prefer everything be sent from your Columbus State email, since we are all part of the college. So if you log in here, and then what you're going to do is you're going to go to your drive. So if you click on the grid and go to your drive, it should bring you up to your folders. And these folders are the ones that I had you create during the first week of class. And by the end, there should be one document in each one of these. So for the Writing Project 1 draft, I'm going to go ahead and click on that folder and open it up, and it should be blank. There's nothing in there, so you need to start your Writing Project 1 draft. So I'm going to go over here to New and click Google Docs, and it should open up a document. So this will be your draft document. And one thing that I suggest is doing all of your stuff for your drafts and your final copies on the actual Google Docs. I think it's very challenging if you do them in Microsoft Word and then try to transfer them over. I do not recommend doing that. There could be a lot of problems with stuff like that. It's much easier just to go ahead and start the papers in Google Docs. So the first thing I want to do is I want to come up here and name my file. And the name of your file is always going to be your first name. And then I want to change the settings for the formatting. So I need to change my font style to Times New Roman. I want to change my font size to 12. And then I do want to come up to the line spacing. And since we are in a draft, it should be single spaced. So if you notice here, the default setting is 1.15. So you have to change that. So for all drafts, they will always be single spaced. All right. And now the first thing that I need to do is I need to put in my last name and page number. So I'm going to come up here to Insert, go down to Header and Page Number, go down to Page Number, and click on this very first one on the left. And you'll see the number will pop up there. So what you want to do is you want to move your cursor in front of that number and type your last name and then a space. And then I want to select all of that and make sure that it is Times New Roman size 12. Because the header information will automatically not be in Times New Roman 12. I believe it's Arial size 11. So you actually do have to select this and change this to Times New Roman size 12, even though you already did that when you opened up the document. So if I click on this now and close out of that, my first line should be right here. So then what I'm going to do is I'm going to hit enter, and then I need to enter my MLA header information. So that is your name, enter, space, enter, my name, enter, space, enter. This is English 1100, comma, and this is Writing Project 1. Enter, space, And then this is the due date of your draft. So for the purposes of this class, this would be, let's say, for example, I'm in the fall right now. My due date would be 15 September 2019. Notice how the date is done. It's day, month, year. So this is the proper date. So again, this is the due date of the draft. Now this date will change when you get to the final copy. So on the final copy, it will be the final copy due date, which typically is a week later. All right, I'm going to hit enter space, and then I need to put in my title. So I want to come up here to center. I want to center my title, and all papers must have a title. So let's say this is my title. Enter space, enter. Then I want to come back to left align. And that's a note I make to people. Please make sure you're always in left align for the actual contents of the paper, the actual writing itself. You don't want to be over here with justify or right. It's always going to be left. And then I'm going to tab over for my first paragraph. All right, so let's say this is my first paragraph. Okay, you can notice that it did shift some things, so I'm going to have to stop and fix those. So there should only be one space between here. So I got to go back and move things over. So you should see there's one space between the title and the opening paragraph. Okay, so let's say that's my first paragraph. Okay, my second paragraph. Period. Okay, let's say I have a third paragraph. That's my third. So for all drafts, I will always ask to see the first 3 paragraphs of the paper. I will never ask to see all of the draft. I only want to see a portion of it. All right, so there's my 3 paragraphs, and you notice there's a single space between the first paragraph, between the second and the third, and then now yours will be longer than this. This is just an example. So if I hit enter and I scroll all the way down to a second page, and you might very well, believe everyone probably will have 2 pages. You can see here how this is my second page, and this is how you know you did the header right. So my last name, number 2, should appear on the second page. All right, so that's the way that the formatting of the draft should look like. It's pretty simple if you follow the steps. And again, I would suggest do it in Google Docs. Do not do it in Word and then try to move it over, because some of the spacing and stuff will change when you do that, and then you have to go in and fix it. So to me, it's much easier just to do the drafts and final copies in Google Docs. So let's say this is your draft and you're done and you're ready to share it with me. You want to come up here to the blue share button. If I click on that, and then you want to type in my email address. So now here my name automatically popped up because I've shared things with myself many times. But the first time you do it, make sure you type in my name and email address correctly. And if you do that, it should show up here. It should say Jamie Carmack, jcarmack@cscc.edu. Please pay attention to this. Some students will put in the wrong email here, and then they'll say, oh, I shared it with you, but I will never get it. So you've got to make sure that you put in the email correctly. And then you want to come over here to this button and make sure the can't edit is checked. and then you will click send. And then it automatically sends it to me. You will not get any notification that it got sent to me, but I will get notification that you shared something with me. So please make sure, again, that my email is spelled correctly, that you've checked the can't edit button, and that you have clicked send. And that's it. That's all you have to do. So if we want to look at an example of what this would look like, I'm going to pull up a student's draft of writing project 1 from a previous semester, and you can see here what her draft looks like. So I see up here, this is correct. Her last name and page number. This information right here is correct. Notice how the date is formatted. Okay, she's got her title. There's a space. Okay, this is her opening paragraph. Then she's got a space. Then we move into her second paragraph. Space, move into her third paragraph. Notice all the writing is single spaced. There's one single space between each paragraph. Down here, she has formatted dialogue correctly. So for anyone who has dialogue in their draft, make sure that you have started a new paragraph every time someone says something. So you don't want to have dialogue inside of a paragraph. And this was something that is on the assignment instructions. It does tell you what page numbers in the field guide you can look at if you need help with dialogue. But it's very simple. Every time a new speaker speaks, a new paragraph is started. So I can see up to, so that tells me that she has the right header information in there. So this is great. This is a great example of correct formatting for the draft. Everything is correct here. I do not see any errors with her formatting. So hopefully this is helpful to you. Again, please make sure you're watching the videos, especially for the formatting of the papers, whether it's a draft or a final copy. These videos are crucial. I mean, to me, students always struggle a lot with the formatting, but it's usually because they're not looking at the materials like this video to show them how to do things. They will think that they could do them without looking at this stuff, and then they make all kinds of mistakes and they lose points, and it's unnecessary. I mean, as far as I'm concerned, I mean, I'm giving you a video that takes you step by step through how to do the drafts and the final copies and set up the formatting. So there's really no excuse to be losing points for things like that. And it helps with the workshop. With our writing workshop, it helps me look at the drafts easier. I mean, it saves a lot of time in the long run. So that's it. Hopefully this one's helpful, and then I will be doing another video for the formatting for the final copy. So stay tuned for that.